think I am a translator because I'm a mixture of a bunch of things that aren't supposed to mix together. I'm a mixture of a dude from the hood who's educated, who was a teacher, who's really a rapper, who's really a Christian and a man of God, who can really relate to anybody in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Whose best friend is really doing 30 years for a crime he ain't commit right now, who really can understand corporate America, who really understands that I'm a rapper, but I'm big on financial literacy, you know what I mean? I'm big on how I spend my money and saving my money, which is a contradiction from what most rappers have talked about, at least my whole life being a fan, you know what I mean? So I'm like a walking bowl of gumbo, and gumbo is comprised of a bunch of different, elements where I'm from that people don't necessarily mix them together, so they're like, I don't know how this is gonna taste. But then when you eat that gumbo, and that's the best stuff you ever had your whole life, And that's what I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be this mix that on the surface, it might not make sense to people, but when you get around me, or when you listen to my music, or when you hear one of my speaking engagements or anything like that, it's like, yo, that is authenticity right there. That is God at work. That's it. That's real, that's righteous, that's relevant. You hear me? That's gangster. Yeah, so the tipping point for me was when my best friend Carl got murdered. That had been my best friend since we were like 5 years old. And a couple months before he got killed, I did my first big concert in New Orleans, right? It was a big night for me, man. And Carl didn't even know that I rapped at that time because I had just started rapping. Literally just started. I had no fans. I had no following, nothing like that. And one of my very first songs was a song about him. It was called Just In Case. And it's saying like, yo, we done kind of grown apart over the years. Your life is taking one turn. My life is taking another turn. I'm in college right now. You in jail right now. You feel me? Like, we best friends, but we've gone two separate ways. But just in case you ain't think your partner love you, I do. You know what I mean? Just in case you think, I ain't here for you, I am. So he just so happened to be in the venue that night. It was no more than 50 or 60 people there. When I saw him, this is the first time in years that I've seen my best friend. I don't even know if he was supposed to be in the state at that time. I heard that he was supposed to be in another state and he was violating, the terms of his probation. I don't know what was going on, but I seen my dog. And when I saw him, I called him up on stage and I got to rap this passionate verse, to my best friend who I hadn't seen like in years. And there's two pictures that people took that night when I was on stage rapping to him. And one of them is him with a smile on his face. And I hadn't seen my boy smile like that since we were in, middle school together, It was just a pure, just smile of just like innocence and purity and just love. And it's because I was rapping, reminiscing on old times. And another picture is him staring at the ground as I'm rapping to him. And I got veins popping out my head. I'm giving him my all, rapping to him. And I'm talking about the direction that his life has taken and how that's bothering me. And he got this serious, intense look on his face, you know what I mean? And, a couple months later, he got murdered, you know what I mean? So the fact that I know I was able to, in that moment, make somebody think and reflect on the direction their life had been taking and reminisce and smile and have that pure smile that only his mama and his family knows of just like, dang, like ain't nobody like Carl. The fact that I was able to do that all in a 16-bar verse, that let me know like I think I have a gift to be able to translate, special messages that people need to hear, you know what I mean? So, man, once again, brother, I'm a translator. Let me tell you 2 calls I got in the last 8 hours. 2 calls I got from people I got relationships with. One from a black dude, mentor of mine, you heard me? Silky Slim, OG, look him up, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Straight gangster who changed his whole life around. I'm talking about real gangster. Lil Busta and all them, this is their OG. You feel me? Changed his life around on some straight positive stuff now. He hit me like, yo, they had the Ku Klux Klan out at the state capitol in Louisiana. And he was like, man, look, I ain't never backed down from a challenge my whole life. So I walked up to him and I burnt the Confederate flag right in their face. You heard me? I walked up to him and I told him. So he did it. He sent me the video. It's going viral on Facebook. And he sent this to me. And I know his method behind the madness. People think he's crazy, but he's actually, charismatic. He's actually like a person that is all for peace and righteousness. But his method, he just comes from an aggressive background. So he's like, look, I confront things head up. You know what I mean? He's that dude, like my man Dave, that goes to the scene of crimes even before the police get there. And he's capturing the footage of the brain splattered all over the pavement, you know, because he's going to use that and go speak at a school or at a prison and show these little dudes, like, is this how you want your life to end up? So, you know, when it comes to race relations, I'm seeing stuff like that. And then I had a dude that I know from back in New Orleans. He's a white dude. And he hit me up. And he was like, yo, I just got into it with a black student at the school that I teach at. I used the N-word. And I used the N-word in a way that I was basically saying, yo, this word, you know, it shouldn't have the power that it has. You know, it's something where the context of it has changed over the years. And he was referencing the Tupac album, strictly for my, you know what I'm saying? That being said, the black student took offense to it and was like, bro, you can't be using that word. You're a white man. You can't be using that word. So the black student stood up and stood like 2 feet in front of him and was cursing him out. He cursing out his teacher. You know what I mean? He going off on dude. So now I know the teacher well enough to know that he's really not a racist at all. You know what I mean? If anything, you know, people used to call him a wigger, basically saying like, yo, you want to be black. You know, like you love black culture and black people so much that you want to be black. And I'm knowing that he's not racist, but as I let him talk and I'm listening to him on the phone, he didn't understand that, bro, you don't understand the sensitivity that black people associate when it comes with that word. So when you're just out here saying, yo, that word doesn't hold any meaning anymore. Like, nah, like you're not defined by that or da-da-da-da. He might have good intentions, but it's like your delivery is flawed and your delivery is wrong and it can come across as offensive to the student. At the same time, with the student, I understand that with him, like part of it is things are so tense right now when it comes to race relations that sometimes we feel like, you know what? This is my moment. This is my opportunity where I got to represent for all black people and I got to put this white man on blast in front of everybody. All the cameras are rolling. This is my moment. I got to boss up and do a face because I'm representing everybody that's black. And I understand the heart behind that, but I also understand how, yo, I bet you that student is way more intelligent than how I saw him acting on there. Because in real life, first of all, he goes to a magnet school. I went to like one of the best schools in New Orleans, you heard me? For dude to even be acting like that, like I know that's not how you normally act, partner. You know what I mean? I know you smarter than that. And I know that it's just the tension though. It's just that adrenaline that we all feel at this point. And you could blame it on Trump. But to me, hey, if it took for Trump to be in office to make stuff that was embedded under the surface come out, then cool. It's a good thing. You know, it's a good thing that it's all coming out now. That being said, man, cooler heads are going to always prevail, you know. I refer to my man Mac right now. He doing 30 years in jail. When you talk to this man on the phone or he just got interviewed on national TV for something, he just talk like a dude that never been to jail in his life and currently isn't in jail. And they're like, yo, why are you not mad? And he's like, yo, I'm not going to walk around every day and live my life bitter and live my life, you know, just with all this anger and aggression that you feel coming from. He's like, I still got to live. I still got to, you know, have peace internally, regardless of what my external circumstances are. And I think that that's one lesson that we can all learn. You know, I kind of live like that, man. Like, it be some hectic stuff going on behind the scenes. My phone keep vibrating. I'm sure that when I look at this, it's going to be some foolishness, you know, from somebody. Like, my life is far from perfect. Yeah, as my lawyer and my cousin who was involved in some crazy stuff with her and her boyfriend calling me because they going through some crazy, it's crazy stuff. But people come to me to be like the mediator, like, yo, like, you know, so I understand that translator, you know what I mean? I understand that. And I think more people need to embrace that about ourselves, man. Like to me, we can all be translators in various predicaments that life brings up. We all called to be translators.